Beverly Hills Cop 3. Is it really that bad after 30 years? Well, it is. Yeah, it is in a way. Well, actually, confidentially, it really is. But here it is. Here's my review of the third installment of Beverly Hills Cop right now. Hey, yo, man, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1994 action comedy flick Beverly Hills Cop 3, released by Paramount, directed by John Landis, starring Eddie Murphy back in the role of Axel Foley. Now, of course, Landis had recently worked with Murphy on films like Trading Places and Coming to America. This is the third installment of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. Its new film is out on Netflix now, and you'll get a review of that tomorrow. Anyway, this time around, Axel Foley once again returns to Beverly Hills and teams up with Detective Billy Rosewood to stop a gang of counterfeiters at a local amusement park called Wonder World. The film was released on May 25th, 1994, so I'm just over a month past the anniversary date. Now, the film features a number of cameo appearances by well known film personalities. It's also the first film in the series not to involve Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, who I forgot to mention in my reviews of the first two films. Of course, they had recently worked on the first two films, as well as Top Gun. But they opted out of this production due to budgetary disagreements. The film was all right and okay, success, but not great though. This film kind of was a big, well, slight disappointment, and got this big time. Was considered by critics and Murphy himself as the weakest film in the series. Before I get started, if you haven't seen my reviews of the other two Beverly Hills Cop films, check out my playlist and catch them in case you might have missed them, or if you would like to see them again. Okay. Detroit Police Department Detective Axel Foley plans to arrest a car theft ring at a chop shop. Unbeknownst to his superior, Inspector G. Douglas Todd, Axel cancels his SWAT backup, planning to use only his team for the raid. Meanwhile, a group of 4 men arrive at the chop shop to pick up a stolen box truck. The leader of the group confirms the truck still has its cargo, crates apparently belonging to the U.S. government, then has his men execute the car thieves. The group prepares to leave when Axel and his team launch their raid, but are outgunned. Todd, arriving moments later, is killed by the group's leader. When the group flees in the box truck, Axel gives chase, but is intercepted by Secret Service agent Steve Fulbright. He informs Axel that the killer must remain on the loose because the federal government is pursuing a larger scheme in which he is involved. After Todd's funeral, Axel learns that several clues left behind by the killers point to Wonder World, a theme park in Beverly Hills owned by Uncle Dave Dornan. Axel arrives in Beverly Hills and reunites with his friend Billy Rosewood, now promoted to Deputy Director of Operations for Joint Systems Interdepartmental Operational Command, and meets John Flint, his new partner after John Taggart's retirement. Flint calls his friend Ellis DeWald, head of one of the world's park security, to let him know that Axel is coming to the park for his investigation. Alex befriends park employee Janice Perkins whilst touring the park's behind-the-scenes facilities. He is observed by security, then shot and attacked hand-to-hand. Axel retreats to the surface where he cuts in line to enter the Spire Ferris wheel ride and rescues two children from the Spire after the guards accidentally jam the ride and is brought to park manager Orrin Sanderson. When the Wald is called into the contest, Axel's claim No, wait, to contest. Excuse me, not contest. Sorry. He's called in to contest Axel's claim that he was attacked by the security guards without prior challenge. Axel recognizes DeWald as Todd's killer, but Rosewood and Flint refuse to believe him because of DeWald's impeccable public reputation. Later, Axel is visited in his motel room by Uncle Dave and Janice. They inform him that the Wonderworld Park's designer and Dave's close friend, Roger Fry, has mysteriously disappeared while inspecting the grounds, I'm getting carried away 2 weeks earlier, leaving only a letter with a cryptic message. Axel and Rosewood attend the banquet to honor DeWald as Private Law Enforcement Officer of the Year and meet Axel's old friend Serge. Axel tries to heckle DeWald into revealing his criminal activities, but resists Axel's attempts. Later, Axel digs deeper into a closed-off section of the park and learns DeWald and Sanderson are using Wonderworld as a front for a counterfeiting ring. DeWald was at the chop shop in Detroit to collect mint paper stored in the truck. That evening, Axel meets with Uncle Dave to ask him about further details to find a piece of viable evidence, and discovers that Fry's warning letter is actually written on a sheet of the stolen mint paper. Before he can make use of that evidence, Uncle Dave is shot and wounded by DeWald, and Axel is framed for his shooting. Now for the ending. You know the procedure. 5 seconds to sub this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. After getting away from DeWald and bringing Uncle Dave to a hospital, Axel sets out to prove his innocence by storming the park, calling Rosewood and Flint to assist him. The ensuing shootout kills the rest of DeWald's henchmen and leaves Axel, Rosewood, and Flint injured. After a hand-to-hand fight, Axel kills DeWald, avenging Todd. In the meantime, Sanderson is killed by Agent Fulbright, who then appears before Axel to explain that he was right. Axel realizes the agent is involved with the counterfeiters, so he fatally shoots him after a brief struggle. Later, Axel, Rosewood, and Flint attend a special event at Wonderworld, where Dave, having made a full recovery, thanks Axel for his assistance by creating a new character for Wonderworld with his name, Axel Fox. While Axel begins a relationship with Janice. End of story. So what did I think of Beverly Hills Cop 3? Well, it's okay, but it's not the best. This is the weakest film of the franchise. I agree with critics and Eddie Murphy himself. They are right. This is the worst of the franchise. The worst or the weakest. You be the judge. Anyway, this film wasn't as successful as the other two films. It only went on to make $119 million worldwide against its $70 million budget, and was this big time. It holds a mere 11% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, saying despite being set in an amusement park, the film forgets to have any fun, as it churns out uninspired violence and witless gags with an uncharacteristically lethargic A. Murphy not helping matters. Yes, well, I do appreciate the amusement park saying, but it could have used more spin polish with Murphy's character of Axel Foley. It's just not great, but and only good intense action bits in the final act. That's in him rescuing the two kids on the spider ride. I think that's the only few things that saves this movie from being a big disaster. Metacritic has this at a mere 16 score, and CinemaScore gave the film a B grade. Variety called it a return to form by A. Murphy that runs out of steam before the end. The New York Times wrote that the film is designed to be a foolproof and safe moneymaker, but Murphy plays Foley too straight. Yeah, I really kind of didn't enjoy that, and especially he didn't give a good laugh during the end. He did give me a few laughs in parts, but not a whole lot. Anyway, this made a ton of worst bits and what have you. The Rocky Mountain News ranked this their fourth worst, and the Spokesman Review ranked it, well, 10 top 10 worst not ranked films. And the San Diego Union Tribune made it put in the top 12 worst alphabetically ordered, not ranked. And the same with the Tampa Tribune, make it put in the worst year-end list, not ranked. The San Jose Mercury News and the Pantagraph gave it a dishonorable mention. A lot of comments were done by the crew and what have you. According to A. Murphy in an interview, he said that the film is different from the trilogy's first installment because Axel is more mature and no longer the wisecracking rookie cop. During that same year, he said he thought the film was infinitely better than the previous film. Well, in an interview with the AV Club years later in 2009, Bronson Pinchot, who returns as Serge, claimed that Murphy was really depressed at the time the film was being filmed, claiming that he was low spirited and had a low energy level. And speaking on Late Night with Seth Meyers, Murphy noted that the first and second films are really good, while the third one lacked a great villain. Yeah, that's true. It did lack a great villain as well. Well, saying that with Screen Rant ahead of the new film, Murphy reflected on the film and why it just didn't work. He commented that the third entry in the franchise failed to connect with audiences due to the omission of Sergeant John Taggart, played by John Ashton, whose character had just retired, and also because the stakes in the movie weren't high enough compared to its two predecessors. So he says the reason the film was soft was because Taggart's not in the movie and the villain isn't villainous enough. And Axel didn't have any skin in the game. First movie, Axel's best friend is killed, and the second one, his boss, the chief, gets killed. And then, well, sorry. And then the third one, Uncle Dave is in trouble. That's what the movie's about. John Landis spoke about his experience in Maine, saying the film was a very strange experience and the script wasn't any good. But I figured, so what? I'll make it funny with A. Then he discovered on the first day when he started giving A some shtick. He said, "You know, John, Axel Foley is an adult now. He's not a wise ass anymore." So with the film, he had this strange experience where he was very professional, but he just wasn't funny. So Landis would try to put him in funny situations and would find a way to step around him. It's an odd movie. There are things in it I like, but it's an odd movie. I agree on that. Now, also another bad thing is Harold Faltermeyer's not back to do the score. Nile Rodgers does the score. And yeah, it does have a cover of Axel F, but in a breakbeat hardcore version. And this is the only film in the series not to feature a song performed by the Pointer Sisters. and, and the soundtrack, once again released by MCA, was a big disappointment. And apparently, it did have a new song by NXS called Keep the Peace in it. But this album tanked the big time. It failed to only make it higher than number 158 on the Billboard album chart and number 66 on the R&B hip hop albums chart. So yeah, the story isn't that great. I do like the saying though, and just the absence of Taggart isn't great. The action is not great at all. The character strengths aren't great. Eddie Murphy still is okay still as Axel Foley. Judge Reinhold's back as Billy Rosewood. That's the only other thing that saves this. They have Hector Elizondo play Detective John Flint, and yeah, he's okay, but just not good enough to save this. Timothy Carr plays DeWald. He was fine. John Saxon, who, of course, I know him from some Nightmare on Elm Street films. He actually did New Nightmare the same year this came out. He plays Orrin Sanderson. Alright performance. Theresa Randle played Janice. She wasn't too bad. Alan Young, who of course you may know, the original voice of Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales, and also a Mr. Ed fame, played Uncle Dave. Yeah, and Bronson Pinchot returns as Surge, and Gil Hill makes a little bit of a return as Inspector Todd. There's others and what have you, but that's it. The rest just, yeah, aren't that great and what have you. So overall, Beverly Hills Cop 3, mm, I would only recommend this film if you are a hardcore completionist to give it a one-time watch. But if you've already seen, but if you aren't interested in this, then avoid it. Go back to just stick with the first two films. Yeah, because I doubt I'll ever watch Beverly Hills Cop 3 again, because I've only seen it a couple of times. I doubt I'll ever watch it again. I only had to rewatch it for a reason, just so I could review all the films before the new film came out. But anyway, well, what will the new film have in store? Well, just find out when I review that film, okay? But what did you think of Beverly Hills Cop 3? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Help support my channel. Make it grow, make the views grow. Again, like, comment, or even share with your friends. And stay tuned, I'll have a review of Beverly Hills Cop XOF tomorrow. So if you like this, check out my reviews of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Lethal Weapon 3, which came out a couple of years before this, which I think is a much better film. I'd rather watch that over this. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of Coming to America, a film Eddie Murphy recently did with John Landis. Or if you want maybe a sequel, the sequel to that, see the Coming to America from a few years back that came on Prime Video in the bottom left-hand corner. I think I'd rather watch that over this A-Time 2, but I doubt it. In the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.